Hi, we're just going to go through some steps to make sure your Promethean board is fully up to date. So if you want to follow through these different videos, then we'll be able to go through this to make sure you've got all the apps and the features that are available embedded in the board, and then you can use those in your lessons. We do have a variety of boards, and so obviously I'm on a certain level of board today, but the same principles will apply to most of them. So first of all, we're just going to get the board up and running. So on this one, I've got my power buttons down the bottom here, so I can turn this on. On some of the older boards, the power buttons are down here on the right hand side, and there are a couple sometimes on the left hand side as well of the board. And so you're probably very used to plugging your device into the board, but the thing we then need to think about is actually how do we get what is called the OPS, or an Android device, activated and working on the board. Now, for some of the boards, this device is built into the board, but some of it is as a separate device. So either way, we need to change the source of our board to get to this point. So the source, again, is a button here, and it brings up your different options for your sources. So again, for some boards, the source is on the side. And we need to choose the appropriate source, so we can choose the OPS. On some of your boards, depending on how they've been fitted, it might be different, and you might need to play with it a bit. So again, OPS is starting, so I can click OK, because it's off currently, and it's now turning it on. Now again, for some of you, you've had this device for a long time but never used it, so it's probably in a standby mode, and you might need to kind of kickstart it to get going. So if you've got one of the older devices, your actual device is this silver box. It's about that big, and it's located normally under the board around here. And so if you have a look under your board, you should be able to see it. Now, if you can and it needs kickstarting, you could just turn it off at the plug and turn it back on again, or you can actually remove it and turn it off that way and turn it back on again. Either will work, and it will update. So then once you have got your device working, you'll get this board here. Just to show you around the board, you've got obviously your clock and time here. These are all your apps. This is your home screen, and this are your menu options and settings. So we're going to go here first of all and just go into our settings, because the first thing that everyone will need to do is update their board. So I need to do this by clicking on the settings cog, which is in the bottom right hand corner, and then click on update. So once you bring this up, you then click online update. So if there is an update, it will tell you that there's an update available. If there's no update, it will just say your board is up to date. So it says there is an update available. I can click update, and then it's going to update it. So as you can see, hopefully you can see here, it's 559 megabytes. So if you're connected to the Wi-Fi correctly, it shouldn't take too long. But be aware that it also means that sometimes you might have to do 3 or even 4 updates, depending on how long ago your board actually got updated last. So it can take a little while. So it will update, it will restart, and it will resynchronize all the apps. So we're just going to give it a moment to do that now. So once it's downloaded, you can see it's got the update button here. If I just click on update, it's then going to restart the system and install that download. As you can see now, one thing it's doing is just optimizing the apps and updating all the different apps to work with the new system you've got in place now. Okay, so I've got my board back now. The whole process has taken about 10-11 minutes to work through the update, and so now this has been updated. I can then go back into the settings option here. Click on there. Go into update again, and this is where you want to see if there's another update that's available. Online update. Okay, updated to the latest version, which is great to see. There are local updates that can be done to your board. If you need to do one of these, which you probably shouldn't have to do, but if you do, these need to be done by your local IT technician, because they will use a USB stick with some software on. they'll plug it into the USB and then they'll run the local update themselves. So you don't have to worry about that, but something you can control is the online update yourself. So every now and again, do go into your board, click on online update and see if there's one available, and we'll have windows of opportunity for those downloads as well.